Hello and welcome, or welcome back, we should say, to the Shanghai Sports Labs facility. We've got all new projects, all new staff, and the first one that we're debuting today is our new Wilt Chamberlain project that we know all of you are going to love. Now, before we get into it, does anyone have any questions or concerns? Yes, I have a question. Yes, you, sir, in the blue hat. Yes, sir. Firstly, why's your lab coat so tight? And secondly, are y'all gonna be doing any real science this time around? Real science? As opposed to what? What we've been doing here all this time is fake science to you? Yeah, you wanna see some real science? How about I come over there and show you about Newton's laws? I'll smack you out of that chair and show you that an object at rest stays at rest until it's acted upon by a greater force. Or whatever Newton said. How about I just slap your ass out that chair? Wilton Norman Chamberlain, aka Wilt the Stilt, or the Big Dipper, is one of the most polarizing figures in all of sports history. Whether it's his on-court accolades or his off-court accolades, Wilt was the very definition of incomparable. From averaging 50 points per game on 50% shooting to having 50 rebound games and block totals we can only guess at, Wilt Chamberlain is statistically, without a doubt, the greatest player to ever lace him up, and it's not even close. A young Wilt in college ran 5 events for Kansas, breaking NCAA records along the way. Former NFL coach Hank Stram says that Wilt ran a 4.6 40-yard dash with a 45-plus inch vertical, standing at 7'1", 280-plus pounds. Without a doubt, the most athletic big man we've ever seen. Well, you and I didn't see him, but still, the most athletic big man we ever seen. When you go looking for stories about Wilt Chamberlain's feats, there are no shortage of testimonials from NBA greats, NBA legendary coaches, and just all around. Anybody who was around from that time has a Wilt Chamberlain story, it feels like. So we'll start with this one from the Zen Master. Phil Jackson once blocked Wilt's shot in a game, and Wilt proceeded, according to Phil Jackson, to block every shot Phil Jackson took against his team for the next 5 games that they played against each other. Every shot Phil Jackson took was a block by Wilt Chamberlain for 5 games. I don't even got anything funny or clever to say about this. I don't know what's worse, the fact that he was able to actually do this to Phil, or the fact that an actual NBA player let this happen to him. Like, bro, pump fake or something, just pass the ball. Another Wilt story goes as follows. Lenny Wilkins took a shot that appeared to be 3 feet above the basket, and Wilt rose up and blocked the shot with one hand, and the referee called goaltender because, quote, "what I just saw was not humanly possible." Now, I'm sure there's some hyperbole involved in some of these stories, because a 7'1" man jumping like 15 feet into the fucking air, bro, that's cool and all, but I don't know, man. So we decided to take this one to the lab and have our Shanghai Sports Sciences lab experts test this out and see what are the numbers behind it, right? Now, a regulation NBA hoop is 10 feet tall. So if the ball was 3 feet higher than the goal, that means at 7'1", 310 pounds, Wilt reached/jumped approximately 6 feet in the air, which would be around 50 inches for his vertical. Gerald Green is possibly the highest jumper in NBA history and reportedly has a 56-inch running vertical, all right? So for a man of Wilt's stature to be able to pull off a physical feat like this, it just straight up sounds impossible, dog. Like, if I was the ref, I would have called goaltending too. I would have thrown Wilt ass out the game. Alien, Superman, get off the court. Now, let me give our younger viewers some frame of reference, okay? Imagine if Shaquille O'Neal could jump like Gerald Green. While you're imagining this, add the fact that Wilt Chamberlain's highest recorded bench press all time is 500, but he says the high is 600. It's just not recorded. While the Diesel and most dominant player in NBA history, that's what we like to call him, Shaquille O'Neal, his highest recorded bench press ever was 450 pounds. That means Wilt could theoretically bench press Shaq, Muggsy Bogues, and another 40 pounds for good measure all at the same time, bro. And while we're talking about his strength, former Sixers GM Jack Ramsey claims that Wilt used to take it easy on would-be shot blockers with their hand in the cylinder because he knew if he didn't pull back on his attempted dunk that he would flat out break their arm. And our scientists in the Shanghai labs got back to me with just how much force it takes to break the arm of a grown man NBA player. And the answer is a fucking lot. And this wouldn't be a Wilt Chamberlain video if I didn't bring this one up. And no, it's not the number that you're thinking of. We getting there. But Wilt Chamberlain, it is said that Wilt Chamberlain, because he was a poor free throw shooter, he used to do standing dunks from the free throw line, not running, standing still, and would just dunk the ball from the free throw line because he was a poor free throw shooter. Come on, bro. We don't need sports. What you want me to tell you approximately how much distance he covered, how much force he used to propel himself toward the basket? No, bro. We not. It don't take all of that science, bro. Wilt was a freak. And now for the portion of the video anyone who knows anything about Wilt has probably been waiting on, right? So it goes that Wilt Chamberlain allegedly bedded 20,000 plus women. While that claim would sound like something that your lying ass 12-year-old little cousin would say, yeah, I had 20,000 girlfriends, I 100% believe him. The man was 6'10" at 14 years of age. So let's use some of my favorite science. We call it common sense. Take a moment. Ask yourself, how many kids did your grandma and grandpa have? If they didn't have a lot, then think of your great-grandparents, right? You know why around this time people had so many kids? The science of common sense tells us they didn't have anything else to do but all they had to do for fun as young adults back then was to play sports and dance. And you're only gonna do so much dancing before you wanna do that other thing, you know? So being a 6'10" teenager paired with the fact that Wilt averaged 37 a game in high school. Wilt probably racked up more bodies as a high school underclassman than me and you will probably our whole lives, bro. And that's not a knock on us, that's just how good Wilt was. And our scientists in the Shanghai labs made it their business to make sense of these numbers from the most valuable player pimp of all time. Well, actually, Wilt has done some of the numbers for us.
You slept with 20,000 women. You made that statement. Now,
20,000. And let's see, he must have started when he was like 15, and he's now maybe 55. So let's see, 20,365 into 20,000. And, you know, and then...
So you're getting people thinking.
Not only that, I'm teaching them mathematics, which is...
Perfect. Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. I was doing some science. Our lab technicians have sent over a report to me about Wilt's numbers that he discussed on the Conan show. So we're gonna go over it here a little bit, slightly in depth, if you don't mind. So according to Wilt, he started around age 15 and he was 55 when he did that Conan interview. So in that 40 years, which would be roughly 14,600 days with 20,000 women, from age 15 to age 55, Wilt averaged 1.3 sexual partners a day, which is impressive in its own right, but not to mention that in this interview, he was 18 years removed from his playing days, right? So that means if you take that into account and you know do a little bit of approximation, that 1.2 partners a day is something more like 3.2 partners a day. Crazy, right? And none of us know the details of these happenings, but Wilt Chamberlain was a professional athlete with time commitments. He had commitments. He had to play games, practice, make appearances, all of the sponsorships and everything. So that means this man was doing this on a very limited schedule. If we being real here, man, that man Wilt, we talking 3-some, 4-some, 5-some, 8-some. Just untouchable numbers, scientifically, of course. And when you take all of these things into account, the incredible physical feats, the in-game stats, out-of-the-game stats, Not to mention that I didn't even bring up his 100-point game. There are so many impressive accolades of his in this video, but there are way more that I didn't even mention. That's the greatness we talking about here. Just everything that Wilt did in his life. I'm a die-hard Allen Iverson fan to my core. For today, honorarily, just for today, maybe for the week, Wilt is my new favorite player, temporarily. But there's nobody, he's the greatest living American of all time. Scientifically speaking, it's factual. Yeah, it's true. So if you enjoyed this video, man, and you like all of these facts, you like science, you like Wilt, drop a like on the video. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel, because we do these as they come. You know, if there's a reason to do sports science or somebody has a good idea for one that needs to be made, we do them. You know, I don't like to put all my scientists hard to work in this lab for no reason, you know? But as always, man, y'all be safe out there. Take care of yourself. Take care of your people. As always, I'm D Brown Shanghai. And I'm up out of here, man.